To live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in that suffering.
Does something good come from living? In all the days I've lived, no good thing has ever happened to me.
Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, wise, or innocent. Suffering is the price to be alive. With every breath we take comes loss, pain, and struggles. But it's not the curse it's made out to be. You must experience bad movies to truly appreciate the good ones. Let's take Berserk, for example. Guts' entire character is that of betrayal, loneliness, and endless battle for survival. Through all his suffering and pain, it makes him more than human. His sword being a literal metaphor for all the heavy burdens he carries on his back and a representation of himself. Having to fight for his life with every step he takes, and he has not once ever given up or is broken. To me, Guts represents hope in a world of chaos. That perseverance and kindness he shows to people around him, even though he has suffered and lost so much. In the Black Swordsman arc, after Guts defeats the Count, and the Count gives himself up for his daughter in the end, never fully realizing his desire for power, opting to give it up for love. It left his daughter in grief and with nothing. Wanting to take her own life, Guts tells her to do so, not because he is heartless, but to give her control over her own life and choices. Creating a hatred within her for Guts, she vows to kill him, so that she may live on with a purpose, albeit for revenge. Because Guts knows that her being alive is much better than dead. Guts sheds a tear after this scene, for he knows what kind of path that life would lead her down. Because he is still walking down that path himself. The Count's daughter mirrors Guts in that they are both living for revenge, using that pain as motivation to go on in spite of everything that has happened to him. Guts fights for a brighter future for himself and his companions. All while chasing revenge, he finds what it is that truly mattered to him along that journey. Although he may try to suppress his kindness and push people away, it's much more for the other person's protection or well-being that he had in mind, showcasing what a truly kind person he is. Revenge and anger can be powerful motivators, but one may easily be consumed and blinded by it. With Guts' berserker armor being a representation of that, and much like Thorfinn from Vinland Saga. When Thorfinn unjustly lost his father, he has sworn his life to revenge. But when that revenge ultimately never comes and his father's murderer is dead, he's left empty and with no purpose. It's not until he was sold into slavery, suffering in fields and losing his pride, that he truly learns what it means to be a true warrior.
Tell me, what is a true warrior?
The strength to be kind, forgive, to change, and to start again with a new purpose. For finding meaningful relationships, growth, and purpose are what makes a life worth living.
Just keep learning as you move forward. One thing after another. When you're empty, you can fill yourself up with whatever you'd like. In fact, it's probably best that you're empty. It makes it easier to be reborn.
Very rarely do you ever find a piece of media that would change your perspective and how you act in life. So I truly treasure stories like these. I find stories like Thorfinn and Guts to be very human and a good message on what it means to live. Growing up, I was very lost. I never truly had an idea of what or who I would become in the future. I didn't really know what to do with my life. I know when I would eventually achieve my goals in life, it might ultimately leave me empty like Thorfinn, with no purpose. What I took away from these characters is that you should find something that matters to you, something that brings you joy and happiness, all while working towards a goal in life or a dream that you have envisioned for yourself. For me, I want to see what the world offers, find untapped potential in myself, all while making meaningful relationships and growing to be a person that I can say I'm proud of.
You have heard it said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. You've heard this to be a good and righteous thing. And yet, I say unto you now, love your enemies. Do good to them that hate you, and pray for those who persecute you.
To keep moving forward one step at a time. What both Berserk and Vinland Saga tells us is what most people spend their whole lives trying to avoid or search for. You cannot escape suffering, but you can find what it means to you. Living is suffering, and within that suffering is everything that makes life worth living. Growth, strength, compassion, and purpose. Like these characters, we continue to fight to live. And like Thorfinn, we shouldn't let the past define us, but learn from it and continue to a brighter future. We should not fear pain because we cannot escape it. Instead, we should embrace it as a part of us and to carry it and still choose to live.
There's no such thing as a painless lesson. They just don't exist. Sacrifices are necessary. You can't gain anything without losing something first. Although, if you can endure that pain and walk away from it, you'll find that you now have a heart strong enough to overcome any obstacle. Yeah, a heart made full metal.